Alright, so it is another very tired Saturday for me. I got up at 6:30 and it's now 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it was because I was going around to the yard sales and such, but I did actually, you know, handle some errands along the way. But yeah, I've been out of the house almost 12 hours. So yeah, this week is actually pretty good, and hopefully I can get through it without losing my train of thought, because again, I am exhausted. So I hope it doesn't repeat, or I hope I don't repeat what I was like last week, and I already feel like I am. So in order of appearance, I think it was like last video, or no, it was probably the video before that. I told you about the place I found in the Midwest, a little secret store that basically over the years, I guess, has bought old stock from places that have shut down and such. And you know, I got a couple sealed games, some pretty nice games, but basically on the last order there, I didn't show you that they were supposed to send me 2 more games that were supposedly new and sealed, but they ended up being used, opened. There was no plastic at all or whatever. But so I returned them, and I got some store credit. They told me, like, if I had placed another order, because they made a mistake, they wouldn't do any kind of restocking fee or whatever. So I got a bunch of cool stuff, and here it is. So yeah, I'm gonna get this started. So this is a pretty darn mint copy of Calibri for 32X. Just really sharp. I have the cartridge already, but yeah, I mean, this is, if you don't know what it is, it's a very it's a unique shooter. I mean, think of this as like Fern Gully the game. They might have had a Fern Gully game, but whatever. And what is better than 1 copy of Metal Storm in box? How about 2? So yeah, apparently this was their last copy of Metal Storm, and it's not as I would say this one's a little bit more beat up than the first one they sent me, but damn, I mean, it's Metal Storm in box, and the actual card itself is pretty darn great. Got me some Truxton. Had played this a long time ago with my roommate, but yeah, man, for $5, who wouldn't grab Truxton? Another game you should look up if you're not familiar with the awesome schmucks by Total Plan is Fire Shark. It has some pretty damn awesome music, and there are these little intermissions between levels where there's a bunch of guys running on the ground, and they service your plane, and then you take off again. It looks pretty cool. This one's just kind of, I don't know, like heavy metal space shooter is all I can think of. Think of like a Thunder Force 4, Lightning Force. That's a side-scrolling shmup that I would say is like, there's a lot of heavy metal music and a very like kick-ass, like go fast kind of pace to it. This is basically the top-down version of it. It's not as fast as Thunder Force, but it's still a pretty cool game. So, and what's better than 1 copy of Robo-LS in box? Try 2. Again, their last copy, but I mean, the one I got this time has some more cracks on it, but I mean, damn, I mean, it's Compile. I think this is made by Compile. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, they make the most unassuming shmups. Like, you looking at the, I mean, the cover looks pretty damn awesome, but if you look at the ship design in their shmup games, you wouldn't think like it would be a very fun game, like especially if you look at the Aleste GG series on the Game Gear. They just pull you in. You have to play them to find out really why they feel so good when you play them. I mean, they give you enough of a challenge, I guess, but you don't feel like you're being taxed all the time. So, and let's see. I don't know if people. I want to try to hide them until I shut them off. Die Hard Arcade, and for the Sega Saturn, pretty darn cheap as well. Like I said, all of this was $30, and I had I had a trade-in credit, and finally a stall for the Sega Saturn as well. Has a crack there, but I mean, it's got its manual, and the disc is just like sparkling. Everything looks really good. Is probably one of the better games for Saturn, more unique games to try out, especially, I mean, if you're a fan of platform games. Let's get on to the races, shall we? Waking up at 6:30 to get out to yard sale at 8. You know, I showed up a little bit early, obviously. Maybe around 7:45-ish, somewhere, 7:45-ish, 7:50. Anyways, it turned out to be crap, but you know, the next ones that I marked down on my on the list all started at 9. Most of them were like no early birds, and if you know, if it starts at 9, they don't even say it. I'm not going to come at 8 unless I'm like passing by and they're sitting out. But I'm not just gonna like go roll up to their house, just the way I am. And I know there are probably people out there who probably get really nice scores if they do that, but it's very rude, and a lot of people will turn you away. I've had conversations with people at yard sales, and they'll say like, you know, they find it rude, and people showing up at their houses and knocking on their doors. But I was roaming around the usual streets looking for signs, and here's a really good tip. If you see someone setting up a sign, even if the sign is like, I don't know, you can actually read it, you can see where it is, you know where it is, maybe it even starts later, you just say, oh, you're having a garage sale, you're moving, and they'll be like, oh yeah, and you just, you talk to them a bit, you say, where is it, you know, give them a little, you know, friendly attitude, can be congenial with them, I guess, and they'll say, oh yeah, you know, it's right down there, just head down and make a right or whatever, and you'll be able to get to the yard sale before everyone else. And that's what happened to me. I saw someone setting up a sign. I asked, you know, if he's having a yard sale. He said, yeah, just it's up this way. Told me the number or whatever. And he said his wife's still setting up stuff. So I went up there, and didn't look like she was going to have anything. And I started asking her, and she... hold on a second. I do this in my kitchen, and was making some yogurt. So, but yeah. So, anyways, I got to talking to her, and I asked about video games, in particular, like old ones, mentioning Nintendo and such. And she goes like, "Hold on a second," which, you know, was surprising. I didn't see any kids or anything, but nonetheless, she brings out this pack of Game Boy Advance pack, and there's a magnifier / light in there, and then there was a DS Lite with Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3. This is a really awesome game. I actually already had it in its box and everything. And then there's like a whole bunch of other really not so good games, but they're time wasters, I guess. But Around the World in 80 Days, New York Times crosswords, Age of Empires, The Age of Kings, that's probably the better one of those DS games, and finally Pac-Man collection, which I really want to give a try because you know, I already have Mario. I mean, Mario's a good game and all, but I already have it. Now the DS, actually the lower screen has some like leaking going on. I don't know, it works, I mean it turns on and everything, but it has some leaking. But yeah, it works, I guess. And I already have a DS Lite. But before I even I wasn't really gonna buy the DS Lite or anything. I think I might have bought maybe Mario or something. But before I had the chance to even make an offer, it comes with also a purple GBA, and the batteries are kind of corroded in there. I have to clean that out, but I think it'll work. Jeez, all this. Hold on a second. Dried battery acid is not a good thing and will burn. So anyways, she just was like, yeah, you can have it, and I didn't even try. I went to this yard sale, and this dude usually sells like lots from storage lots that he bids on, I guess. And you know, sometimes there are video game stuff in there, but he's pretty smart. He pulls that. He looks up everything, I'm pretty sure. And you know, I was talking to his associate, which I never saw before, but he was saying they had like a Sega system. It ended up being a Master System, which I already owned, but you know, they had some good games in the lot, and I might have just bought everything. But he said they were going to sell it online for like $90, and I was just like, I'm not. I mean, I wanted it, but I'm not going to give you $90 for it. I may have given him maybe $20, but anyways, they had like a bunch of other toys, like, you know, action figures and such, and they had mostly Star Wars junk. But in the bag here, I noticed, you know, there were other ones too, probably. Either way, I noticed Ganondorf. And I'm pretty sure this guy is rare / expensive. He's part of like a set of figures, maybe made by Resource, because I remember they were doing a lot of early video game figures. But anyways, this was part of a set that was released around Ocarina of Time, obviously. Well, maybe not so obvious for some. But anyways, I saw him in the bag, and I saw a whole bunch of other cool figures in there. There's basically Yuffie, Cloud, Vincent, the whole Red 13, the whole Final Fantasy VII cast of characters in there. And I mean, I pulled it out earlier, but there was the Bowser, and there's a blue turtle shell in there, spiked turtle shell, and his go-kart. So I mean, they were wanting $3 for this, and they really wouldn't go any lower. So I mean, it's a good buy nonetheless. So $3. The next sale I went to, I've been to before. They have sales quite often, and you know, since I've been to it maybe like twice. I figure, you know, they're never gonna have anything new. And if I ask all my questions, but this time there was like another guy there, I think it was her son, and I asked about video games, and he says, oh, normally he sells that stuff online, but you know, anyways, I saw this bag there. It's a lunch bag with Capcom on it, so I was just like, I'm interested in this. And yeah, so I bought this bag for $6. But what's in the $6 bag? Actually, I bought this for $6. A pretty damn mint. Like, there's no. I'm pretty sure like this guy had it sitting on his shelf for years or whatever, but you know, it looks brand new basically. I haven't looked yet, but there could be a coupon in there for free pizza. I'd like to check that out. Why not? Oh, no manual. But that doesn't matter. I actually already have this game, but you know, the guy wanted 8. I immediately cut him in half, 4, and then I was like, he was like, nah, I can't do that. I was like, could you do 5? And he's like, I could do 6. And I had seen this earlier, and I said, if I do 6, can you throw this in? And he's like, okay. Next yard sale, I got a free orange. Straight from the tree. Very fragrant. Next yard sale, I found a pretty dirty, but definitely cleanable SNES controller and a Nintendo AC adapter for the original Nintendo. Was $1. Next yard sale I'd been to, they had setups before, but basically they were like resellers that wanted to get out of the business, and you know, I had gone through their collections before and picked out an extra 32X, which, you know, with hardware like that, I feel like I should keep it in case mine breaks. So now I had gotten one before from them. I got Knuckles Chaotix from them, a really underrated game called Jewel Master for the Genesis. I got Game Sharks from them. I got a PS2 Slim from them. This was, I only had gone to them twice. Some PS2 games, a game by IREM called Sub Rebellion. I love IREM, you know, in the past year. This time, however, I got, I just saw these. I had gotten a bunch of them before from them, like sealed e-reader cards, and I don't know, I didn't know if Urban Champion was rare, but I bought that, plus this Action Replay for the Game Boy Advance for $1, and I was looking at this Dreamcast controller, and I was like, I kind of want it, because I like the color. I already have a green one and a red one, and I actually ordered the green one. It's brand new back in the day, straight from Sega. But yeah, you know, I saw this and she was like, well, for $1, and I was like, oh, man, I wasn't even really trying to buy it from her, but she says it's $1. I'm gonna buy this. And then there's Pokemon Snap manual she threw in for free. I already had the game. I went to the thrift stores after and I didn't find anything there. But in my hometown, I found System Shock 1 and System Shock 2 for the PC. So these are basically things I think I might sell. I might play them first, but I'm pretty sure they're valuable. And you know, these were the games that basically came out before BioShock. And actually, I remember seeing System Shock 2 in the stores back in the day, backing up Babbage's. But and it was like for what BioShock is today. Yeah, what a mixed bag of crap this week. I was hoping to find more Sega Genesis stuff or Super Nintendo. I mean, I really like to find more Sega Genesis stuff. It seems like everybody just has Nintendo stuff. If I find video games, it's Nintendo stuff. So, and yeah, Sega stuff I think is rare, and I wouldn't be surprised if that stuff will start to go up in value as it becomes more scarce. I know the Sega Master System has just shot up in value, and rightfully so. I mean, but the games are still pretty darn cheap. So it might be a solid investment if you're not willing to find one at a yard sale. And this is my this is in terms of yard sales, this is the third, well, I found 2 at yard sales. The one I saw today and the one that I actually have. I have a really nice one. I have a Sega Master System 2, and it's in its box, and it was part of there was some combo deal. It's sealed, has a plastic shrink wrap around it with columns and Sega Visions magazine. I'm pretty sure the damn thing is like uber expensive, and I got that at a flea market. But yeah, in terms of like finding stuff at finding the Master System at a thrift store, I'm thinking that thing is going to get incredibly expensive, as well as the maybe the Genesis eventually, but for now the Genesis is pretty darn cheap still. And both Master System and Genesis games are pretty cheap, so it might be a solid investment to get either one of those systems if you're not willing to go out to the yard sales, but get out into the trenches. That's what I feel like that's what I am. When I go out there, I'm out in the trenches. I'm digging through people's crap and bringing it home, shining it up, and realizing the inner beauty of someone's garbage. It's definitely a lot more hard work than going even to a flea market. So, but I think is actually probably a better idea if you want to get a lot of cool stuff fast, because at a flea market it's pretty much all those guys, not on bikes, but with cars, and getting tons of video game stuff and then bringing them back into one place where you can just pick up everything you want, but obviously it's at a higher cost. So but you probably know the score already. So anyways, get out there and find cool shit.